I'm like, well, fair market's going to be like 150. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't need another Porsche. The last thing I need is another Porsche. Well, guys, I never thought I'd be saying this, but welcome to my brand new 2012 Porsche Carrera GTS. This is special because two things. One, it's a manual. Two, we have the clear taillights. Three, it's not a convertible. Four, it's not all-wheel drive. So this is the absolute enthusiast spec Carrera GTS that you want to order from the factory. In this video, I'm going to tell you why I picked it up. How I got it is actually a very heartwarming story. So I hope you'll join me for a ride as we go around and I tell the story of why I bought this car. The last thing I needed was another Porsche, but this was an opportunity I just could not say no to. So let's hop in and take it out. Starting off, we have a manual key, okay? Look at that. Accessories on. Perfect. So this interior in here, leather wheel, suede shifter, suede e-brake, suede seat inserts. I'll kind of do some overview, some B-roll shots of the car as I talk about this. I just picked up the car yesterday. I haven't gone through it. There's no fine-tooth comb yet. We're going to go over this entire car, what makes it special, what needs to be done with it, kind of like an overview. So if you were to buy a Porsche 911 or any Porsche, you would know what to look for as well. It's exhaust. So far we have a TPMS light, rear left wheel. Let's try sport. It sounds good. It sounds good. Put the window down. I would love to put a lightweight flywheel on this. One thing to know already is that, so the driver window is auto down, auto up, and the passenger window, it's auto down, but it's manual up, which is actually very interesting on this car. Anyways, let's take it out. No one's coming, great. Always drive with your headlights on, no matter if it's day or night. You don't want anyone to accidentally or run into you or pull out. Okay, so the year is 2021 and I'm working at my second job. And my first day on site, I come across this beautiful Porsche 911 GTS. And I'm like, whose car is this? And I walk up to it, because these are pretty rare. This little foreshadowing here, there are only 276 rear-wheel drive manual Carrera GTSs in the United States. And so I walk up to the car, well, it's probably gonna be PDK, and I see the shifter, and I'm like, no way. By the way, this car has no auto rev match. And so I go, no way. There's no way that this car is existing right now. Whose car is this? You know, I've got my Porsche 911 Carrera S cab. I'm taking to work every day and stuff. And I find out whose car it is eventually. And let's call him, his name's gonna be John. And you know what? I think I used John in another video, so we're gonna say his name is Mark. So I find out that it's Mark's car, and I said, Mark, is that your car? He goes, yeah. I've owned it since brand new. And so every Monday morning, I would come in to work at Job B, and Mark would knock on my office door. He'd come inside and he would say, Chad, what were we working on this weekend? You know, what was in the garage? And I would tell him, oh, hey, Mark, I had the transmission pull out of my Carrera S cab. I'm trying to diagnose second gear. And I would use the whiteboard to show him all the gear sets. I'm thinking about CTE, coefficient of thermal expansion, mismatch between the bronze and the steel, and maybe the teeth are wearing down, etc. And I'm giving him a full mechanic lesson. Maybe I'm doing the brake pads or an oil change or a coolant flush or a water pump fix or whatever. And he was just always like, wow, this is so impressive. This is such a cool thing that you know how to do all this stuff. And, you know, I could tell he kind of was living a little vicariously through me. And yeah, so every Monday morning we had a whiteboard lesson. We'd go over all the mechanic work that was done on the car, why I did it, and how I would administer, you know, all the fixes. And so it was pretty cool. And so I was doing this for, you know, 3 years, and I leave. I know I go to my current job. It's 2024, 2 years goes by, and I have a missed call from Mark on my phone, and I'm like, damn, you know, it's good to hear from Mark. He says, call me back. I got good news and bad news. And so I call Mark back, and I'm like, hey, Mark, what's up? How's it going? You know, how are you? And he's, you know, Chad, I've got some good news and some bad news. And I'm not going to get into too many details here, but, you know, he had some health issues, and they started to deteriorate. And I was really sad to hear this, and I offered my condolences. And he says, I want you to have my car. I'm no longer healthy enough to drive my car. And I'm like, oh my God. And I go, okay. And he says, when can you pick it up? Can you come tomorrow? And I'm like, you know, and you know, we're talking about, you know, our friendship. We're talking about emotion. Not once is a dollar mentioned on this conversation. And I go, you know, eventually I'm like, you know, I can come down tomorrow, sure. I said, Mark, before I come down, like, what do you want for this thing? Oh, just make me a fair market value, you know, and the car is yours. In my mind, I know what fair market value is. And, you know, if you've gone over these cars, you looked up on, you know, auction websites, one just sold on Bring a Trailer last week for $155,000. Had 45,000 miles on it. This one just clicked over 28,000. One owner, no accidents, no weird stories. And I'm like, well, fair market's going to be like 150. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't need another Porsche. The last thing I need is another Porsche. And, you know, I'm already at the gills. And so I said, you know, let me call you back. I call some of my friends. I try to get some advice. And it just sounds like Mark wants his car to go to a good home. He's about to retire. He's going to move to the beach. His driving days are done. You know, and it's a sad story in the sense of, like, he told me, he's like, you know, Chad, you wait your whole life to buy your dream car. And then it turns out your health can go down. And that's kind of a lesson out there, you know, for everyone who watching this, you know, this video is like, you know, yes, it's important to save money and work on your career, but like if you wait for your golden years to enjoy that sports car, go on that vacation, like you may not, one, be alive, two, have your health. At the end of the day, like you could be the happiest person in the world, you could have everything. If you have a cold or a cough or an earache, you would do anything to solve that little health inconvenience. Now imagine having a real health inconvenience like my friend Mark is experiencing right now. And so anyways, so I'm thinking about it. You know, I call my friend for some advice. And I call him back a couple of days later and I said, Mark, I'm happy to take the car off your hands, but unfortunately, you know, this is kind of a bad time for me. I'm saving up for a house. I really don't need another Porsche. And I think that the offer that I would make you would be insulting and you would say we're no longer friends. He says, Chad, don't worry about that. Just make me an offer and the car's yours. I just want it to go to a good home because I know that you're going to take care of it. You're going to treat it like your own. I know how OCD you are, how meticulous you are, how attention to detail. I know that in the car, if the car's in your hands, you're going to not, you know, let one rusted screw or bolt go by. You're going to do the right thing. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I agree. But, you know, just because, you know, your friend has a $10 million yacht and they're going to sell it to you for $5 million, half off, it's still a $5 million yacht. And I said, all right, Mark, I'll make you the offer, but I don't want to offend you. If you want to go to CarMax, you want to go to, you know, this Porsche place, that Porsche place, Bring a Trailer, this auction house, and you want to get full value for it, I won't be offended. I really just don't want to offend you with my offer. And he goes, Chad, seriously, man, don't worry about that. I just want the car to go to a good home. And so I'm thinking in my head, you know, what I'm comfortable spending. And it would have been, you know, if we were on Facebook Marketplace, this guy would have been like, leave. Get out of my driveway, go. But that was honestly all I was willing to, you know, spend and afford. And, you know, and I made sure that Mark had a really clear view of like, hey man, like, again, if you want full fair value, like, please go to these places. I won't be offended. I won't be offended at all. And once he says, don't worry about it. So I make him the offer, and he says, sold, the car is yours. Can you come get it tomorrow? And my jaw drops, you know, and it was just one of those moments in life where you just felt good. You know, Mark doesn't care about the money. Mark's about to retire. He's going to the beach, you know, and he just, it's almost like I just became his friend over those 2 or 3 years that we hung out every Monday morning with the whiteboard lesson. And I genuinely just loved helping him out and showing him what it was like to work on the cars. And I could really tell that he appreciated that. And I could tell that he wanted to live that life as well. And he was living vicariously through me. And I was happy to be Mark's friend and, you know, do that for him. And I expected nothing in return, you know, other than a smile and a handshake. And after giving him all these whiteboard lessons, and it turns out, you know, like, just being good to people can afford you an amazing future opportunity. And I felt so touched, so blessed. And so this one's going to go out to Mark. And, you know, this is going to be a new YouTube series, mini series, where we're going to go over what it's like to buy a 2012 Porsche 911 Carrera GTS. And we're going to go over everything wrong with the car, what needs to be fixed, maintenance items, things I would, you know, change, not change. We're going to go over how to do it all. At this point, I want you guys to tell me, you know, what do you want to see on this car? You know, I have a list here of things I'm going to go over. Let me grab it real quick. So we're going to be, this thing needs a massive detail. The exterior is filthy. The interior is dirty. We're going to go over how to detail the entire car, pretty much like polishing it, etc. Deep interior clean. All the products are going to be used. We've also got the tires in this car. The rears are from 2016. They're super old. So we're going to have to replace those. I'm going to show you how to take the wheels on and off. These are actually going to be center lock wheels on this car, which many of you think is really cool. It's all fun and games and cool until you have to go replace, you know, take the wheels and tires off, you know, for, you know, routine maintenance. So we're also going to do an oil change, manual transmission oil, cool flush, check the brake pads, check the rotors. We're going to do the spark plugs, the coil packs, the drive belt, the intake filter. We're going to do a compression check on the cylinders. We're going to use a borescope for any bore scoring. We're going to run a DME report on this. Any service light on here. So we've got service now, TPMS warning. There's a front plate in the car. We're going to take it off. I'm going to show you how to fix that. We're going to ceramic coat the wheels, ceramic coat the car. We're going to ozone the interior. I'm going to show you how to put a little battery tender on. We're going to do a battery kill switch. And things I'm thinking about buying for this car right now include the following. Real quick. Can't help myself. These tires are all 10 years old. So it's, we don't want to drive it too fast until we get new tires on it. It's a healthy engine. This has the X51 power pack, 410 horsepower, around 310 foot-pounds of torque. But anyways, back to this. So what we're going to do in this car, we're going to do the Sport Classic lip up front. We're going to get a new suede gear lever, clear side markers, do an intake from BMC. I'm going to put headers on it. We're going to get tuned, do the Apple CarPlay. We're going to PPF the headlights, swap out the xenon bulbs, do a water pump, drive belt, and possibly some stainless steel brake lines. So yeah, so this will all be a mini series, guys. If you have any questions, comments, and the things that you want to see with this car, please let me know. I will pin the top comment here saying video suggestions for the Carrera GTS, and and then we'll go ahead and do all that. So, thanks for watching. Shout out to Mark. This guy's a real angel of a guy. He reminds me of the guy from Up, just a real sweet old man. And you could tell, he just wanted the car to go to a good home. And I'm happy to now be the custodian of this. And this car will live the life of a dog on a farm. And it's going to live its best days. And shout out to Mark. Everyone send him, your prayers and thoughts. So yeah, shout out to Mark. I really appreciate all the hospitality and friendship he's given me over the years. This was just an opportunity I just couldn't say no to. A manual rear-wheel drive Carrera GTS 997.2. This is the last of the 997. This was the hoorah before it all went away. Some of you may remember how there was a Sport Classic, as well as a Speedster, but the Speedster only came in PDK, and the Sport Classic only had 250 examples, and that was non-America only. So if you see a Sport Classic in the US, they either paid a ton of money to get the emissions regulations done. But yeah, so this is like the enthusiast spec. It's got the turbo wide body on it, 6-speed manual transmission, X51 power kit, rear-wheel drive, no convertible. This is it. I think the only thing that this car wasn't spec'd with was the GT2 folding bucket seats and ceramic brakes. I really enjoyed the leather wheel in the car so far. The car has some, vibrations to it, because I think because the tires are old, etc. So probably need some wheel weights, and yeah, it's just what an opportunity. I feel very blessed, very thankful, and I want to share this story with you guys, my viewers. I just want to thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing, and yeah, well, please, if this sounds interesting to you, stay tuned, and we'll do a very cool mini series on Mark's Carrera GTS. Thanks, guys.